Hello, sports fans. It is Monday, December the 29th, year 2014, and as always, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Great to be back with you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying your holiday season. Hope you caught some of the games over the weekend as we are ready for the NFL playoffs. How fast does the NFL regular season go by? I just remember it being Labor Day and the NFL was just starting, and here we are ready for the wild card weekend already. It's hard to believe the NFL goes by very, very quickly. Alright, so here's where we are in the AFC and the NFC. As far as the AFC, New England is the 1 seed, Denver is the 2 seed. Those two teams will have a bye week. Pittsburgh, after beating Cincinnati at home last week, they are the 3 seed. Indianapolis the 4, Cincinnati drops down to the 5, and Baltimore is the 6. They come back and beat Cleveland yesterday. They didn't look all that great, Baltimore, for 3 quarters, but they do rally in the 4th quarter to beat Cleveland. And with San Diego losing, the Ravens get into the playoffs. What a terrible job by San Diego yesterday. San Diego laid a complete egg in Kansas City. Kansas City's playing with their 2nd-string quarterback, and San Diego can only manage 7 points in the game. I thought that was a terrible job by the Chargers. So the Chargers lose, they're out. Baltimore comes back and wins. They are in the playoffs. Houston and Kansas City fall a little short. As far as the NFC, Seattle comes back and beats St. Louis, so Seattle gets that top seed. Green Bay beats Detroit. They win the division. They get the 2 seed, so Seattle and Green Bay have the week off. Dallas smashed Washington. Dallas is the 3 seed. Carolina just blasted Atlanta. I mean, bombed them 34-3 in Atlanta. I was shocked by that score. Not shocked Carolina won, but the score. Atlanta, what kind of performance was that by you? And how many times have I said that this year with Atlanta and New Orleans, where they've had just awful performances? What a terrible job by Atlanta yesterday. 34-3, they lose in their building with the division and the playoffs on the line. Deplorable job by Atlanta yesterday. Give Carolina credit. They've won 4 in a row. They win the division. Arizona loses to the Niners yesterday. They drop to the 5 seed. Remember, Arizona's playing with their 3rd-string quarterback. And Detroit, despite the loss to Green Bay, they do get into the playoffs as the 6th seed. We'll keep an eye on Sue. I don't know if he's going to get suspended or not for stepping on Rodgers. Who knows with his track record where they go with that. Maybe he just gets fined. Maybe he gets suspended. We'll keep an eye on that. So as far as the matchups for Wild Card Weekend, and I'm going to give you my picks right now, as a matter of fact, the early game on Saturday is Arizona at Carolina. I mean, you talk about a bizarre matchup, just a bizarre matchup. Arizona playing their 3rd-string quarterback, and Carolina is under 500. I mean, what a wacky game this is. Carolina is a 4-point favorite at home. This is the early game on Saturday. Believe it or not, I have to go with Carolina here, and I never thought I'd say this. If you asked me this a month ago, I would say you're crazy. I have to go with Carolina here. They're home. They've won 4 in a row. They're getting that running game going. The defense is playing better. Cam Newton's look good. And Arizona is in a free fall. They're playing their 3rd-string quarterback. They can't score. I respect what Arizona's done this year. I love their defense, but they can't score any points. Not with the 3rd-string quarterback. Palmer's out for the year. Stanton's out for the year. I don't think they can go on the road with the 3rd-string quarterback and win against a Carolina team that's hot. I just don't think they can do it. I would have liked to have seen what Arizona would have done the rest of this year if they had Palmer. Would have been interesting to see how they would have finished the year. But now with the 3rd-string quarterback, I can't see him going all the way to Carolina and winning this game. I will take Carolina -4 against Arizona in Carolina. That's pick number 1 in a very, very bizarre game. Now, the late game on Saturday, the Pittsburgh Steelers are at home, -3.5 against the Baltimore Ravens. These two rivals are going at it again. Baltimore beat Pittsburgh in Baltimore. Pittsburgh returned the favor in Pittsburgh. So they split the season series. Both teams won at home. We'll keep an eye on the Steeler running back. He went out with an injury last night. Hyperextended knee. May or may not play. We'll keep an eye on that. Baltimore has all sorts of issues moving the football. They can't move the ball from here to there. Through 3 quarters yesterday against Cleveland, what did they have, 3 points? They finally got the offense moving in the 4th quarter. But Baltimore, the last few weeks, has not done anything offensively. I have to take Pittsburgh here. It's 3.5 points. These games are usually close, but I have to take Pittsburgh here. They're home. Pittsburgh can score some points. I don't love Baltimore's offense at all, especially on the road. I think the game is close. I think the Steelers win by about, 4 to 7 points. I think it's less than a touchdown, but the Steelers do eke it out, and they do cover the spread. So pick number 2, Pittsburgh, minus 3.5 against Baltimore in Pittsburgh. Keep an eye on the Steelers running back to see if he plays or not. Let's go to the Sunday games. The early game on Sunday, the Indianapolis Colts at home, minus 5.5 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati's taking a lot of injuries as well. A.J. Green left with an injury yesterday. We'll see if he plays. Now, the Colts have kind of been rest and players the last 2 weeks. They pulled everyone out of the game against the Cowboys last week. Then they pulled everyone out, in the second half yesterday against Tennessee. So the Colts will be very well rested here. And Cincinnati is very, very beat up. They had a very big game against Denver on Monday night. Then they had a short week to prepare for Pittsburgh. So they've had 2 very physical games in a row. Now they got to go on the road. I believe the Colts already smashed Cincinnati once this year. I like Indianapolis here. I like Indianapolis. I like them at home. I like Luck. Cincinnati, to me, has way too many injuries. They have no pass rush, and I don't like teams that don't have a pass rush on the road against a good quarterback like Luck. So I will take Indianapolis minus 5.5 against Cincinnati in Indy. That's pick number 3. And pick number 4, let's go to Dallas. The Dallas Cowboys are minus 7 against the Detroit Lions. Dallas has been putting up points left and right. They've had a tremendous season. I respect what Detroit has done this year. They've been playing some good defense. But the stat that they put up last night tells the story as far as this game. Matthew Stafford and the Lions are 3-29 against teams with a winning record since Stafford has been the quarterback. 3-29, and I think they're 0-17 on the road. That's a bad sign going into Dallas against a very good Dallas team, a Dallas team that's hot. Detroit yesterday, you saw it. Detroit fell behind 14-0. Then Rodgers went out of the game. They tied the game at 14. Rodgers comes back in the game, and Green Bay pulls away. I have to like Dallas here. They're home. The offense is cooking. I don't like Detroit on the road. I just gave you the stat. They 0-17 with Stafford on the road against winning teams. That doesn't bode well here against Dallas. I know the spread's 7, but I still like the Cowboys to win by about 10 points here. I like Dallas, minus 7 against Detroit in the Big D. So I like Carolina at home, minus 4 against Arizona. I like Pittsburgh at home, minus 3.5 against Baltimore. I like Indianapolis at home, minus 5.5 against Cincinnati. And I like Dallas at home, minus 7 against Detroit. I'm taking all the home favorites. I think the home favorites are going to do well this week. And I'll tell you, looking forward, as far as the playoffs, to me in the AFC, it's New England and Denver. It's going to come down to Denver at New England. Give a slight edge to New England because they're home. But it's going to be Brady or Manning again in the Super Bowl. And as far as the NFC, you got to favor Seattle right now. Their offense isn't as explosive, but their defense is lights out. I give Green Bay a shot. I give Dallas a shot. And I'll tell you, if Dallas wins this week, you're going to probably have a Dallas at Green Bay matchup next week at Lambeau Field. How good will that be? As a matter of fact, you will have that. If Dallas wins, they will go to Green Bay, and Seattle will play the lowest seeded team. So how good of a matchup will that be next week if we get it? Dallas at Green Bay at Lambeau Field. That is must-watch TV. So those are my picks for a wild card weekend. I was 7-2 against the spread last week. I had Pittsburgh, Denver, Seattle, and Kansas City straight up. Then I took 3 two-team teasers. I won with Green Bay and Dallas. I won with Dallas and Baltimore, and I won with Baltimore and Green Bay. So I was 7-2 overall last week. That puts me about 25, 26 games over 500 against the spreads. The 2 games I lost last week, I took Houston over Jacksonville. Houston won but didn't cover the spread. And Atlanta, I took Atlanta, and they just got absolutely bombed by Carolina. What a terrible job by Atlanta. Atlanta coach fired. All sorts of coaches were fired already. Atlanta coach fired. Chicago coach fired. Jets coach fired. Harbaugh gone from the Niners. He goes to Michigan. So all sorts of coaches fired. And one game I dropped last week, New England, I dropped that game. I originally picked New England, but once Denver lost last Monday night, New England didn't need the game, so I dropped that game. So I was 7-2 overall last week. I go to like 25, 26 games over 500 against the spread, so I'm doing really good again in the NFL. Been very hot the last 3 weeks. I think I'm 13 games over 500 the last 3 weeks, so doing well in the NFL. So you have my 4 picks there. Of course, you got your college bowl games going on. You got your Final Four on New Year's Day. Please watch that. As far as the bowl games, to me, there's a lot of bad First of all, there's too many bowl games. Everyone makes a bowl. A lot of bad matchups, a lot of sloppy play, no one plays defense, and a lot of teams not motivated to be in these games. I mean, to me, other than the Final Four playoff and maybe a couple of the other bigger games, a lot of these games look like exhibitions to me. Like they just don't mean a lot to one or both of the teams, so you don't know what you're going to get as far as a performance. To me, they're exhibitions, and when they're exhibitions, I mean, what does it really mean if you win or lose some of these bowl games? What does it really mean to some of these teams if you lose? What does it really mean? It's not a playoff game. It's not the end of the world. To me, a lot of bad bowl games, a lot of play, a lot of bad play, a lot of unmotivated teams. I think the bowl games have been awful so far. I say this every year because you get so many bad matchups, so much bad defense, uninspired play. To me, they're exhibitions. Now, the Final Four playoff, that's something else. That's going to be great, and I think it should be the Final 8 playoff, but I'll live with the Final Four. That's going to be great because that means something. A couple of the other games are big games like Baylor, Michigan State. Those teams will be motivated. But some of these other games, you just wonder what the motivation is for some of these college teams. They just look like they check out of some of these games early in the game. To me, they're exhibitions. I started off hot in my college bowl picks. Have not been doing well lately. We'll see if I can finish the bowl season off, very, very strongly. All right, so that's your college bowl games. They're on all the time. Of course, you got your NBA, your NHL, you got your college basketball. Going to be weird tonight with no college, with no NFL Monday Night Football tonight. It's going to be so weird. I was looking at the schedule. I'm like, oh, who's the Monday Night Football game tonight? I'm like, wait a minute, we're in the playoffs already. There is no game. So I'm going to miss the NFL tonight for sure. Like I said, college basketball, NHL, NBA, you always got that. I did watch a college basketball game over the weekend. I watched Kentucky go into Louisville and beat Louisville. Kentucky is lights out. They are awesome on defense. I don't know if they're going to lose a game in the regular season. They play in the SEC, which is a bad college basketball conference. Kentucky's going to be favored in all their games, and their defense is lights out, and they shut down Louisville. Louisville is another good defensive team, but Kentucky a little better on offense. Kentucky, without a doubt, the team to beat in college basketball. So if you want to check out some college basketball during the week or the NHL and the NBA while we wait for our NFL football to get going on Saturday and Sunday. All right, there you go. You guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. You guys have a happy and safe new year. Wish you guys all the best for the year 2015. Hard to believe we're in the year 2015. I just remember when we were in the year 2000 with that whole Y2K stuff, and we are now 15 years later. Are you kidding me? How fast does the time go by? So you guys have a happy and safe new year. I hope 2015 is your year. I will be back with you guys on Monday. We'll recap Wild Card Weekend. We'll recap the semifinals of the college football. We'll preview the championship game. I'll probably have my friend Joe back here next week. And we'll touch on anything else in the sports world. NBA, NHL, a little college basketball, anything else that comes up in the sports world. We will touch on that Monday. You guys are all set. You have my picks for the week. You guys enjoy the games. Happy and safe New Year. I will talk to you on Monday. Thanks for the support. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Talk to you Monday. Take care.